So this month we're exploring the imagination. We're doing the 12 powers this year as a sub-theme. And Charles Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity, wrote a book called The 12 Powers. The imagination is located in the pineal gland, which is sort of in the center of our heads behind the third eye. It's the way that we use to image and imagine. And you know, our overall theme is all in. And so my question to you this morning is, how would your imagination be different if you were all in? In other words, if it were totally aligned with the divine presence that is within you. The power of imagination is a great ability that we humans possess. And we can use our imaginations to write books, to write songs. That was a great song, Aaron. We can use it to envision a new life and a new world for ourselves. We also can use our imaginations to waste time, right? By going off in a daydream that has nothing really to do with our lives at all. And we can use our imaginations to, we can send them into the future, right? To see if we want to move to another state or try another job. The imagination allows us to go there without actually having to go there. But, you know, of course, we do our research first. And we can use our imaginations to create disastrous scenarios, can't we? Anybody ever done that one? Right? Where it's like imagination just goes wild. I think Ellen DeGeneres said, you know, when you're a kid, you use your imagination for all sorts of fun. But when you're an adult, all of a sudden you're imagining and creating all these things in your life that you may not want to happen. Jesus said it this way when he said, who can add an hour to their life through worrying? And is not imagining the worst, that is worrying, and it serves no real purpose. So again, how would your imagination be different if you were all in with it? The 12 disciples were under the guidance of Jesus, and metaphysically, the 12 powers are under the jurisdiction of the inner Christ. So how would you use your imagination differently if it was aligned with your divinity? And how can we best direct the imagination? Because if it is kept unchecked, it is and can run amok like a wild monkey. Yeah? So we need to find ways to stop the monkey, or at least get him to pause. So as many of you know, on January 21st, I went away for a 10-day silent Vipassana retreat in Onalaska, Washington. And it's a beautiful setup. I mean, everything is set up for the meditation. And while you're there, you enter into what is called noble silence. In noble silence, you cannot read, you cannot write, your computer and cell phone are locked in your car, and you're not allowed to go to the parking lot. No talking, of course. No smiling at each other and interacting. No miming. Basically, you're kind of off in your own. No touching each other either. By about the fourth day, I was reading my roommate's shampoo bottle and hand cream lotion. I was memorizing the ingredients and things. By the fourth or fifth day, it's like, please give me a pot to scrub, give me a floor to sweep, something. But all I had was my mind. So the other thing about noble silence is because we couldn't, there were about 100 people there, and Angel is here. She drove over with me, so she's here today. In noble silence, you look crabby, you know, because you got 100 people and you're not allowed to interact with each other or talk to each other or smile at each other. So you're kind of, you know, you're always kind of walking around like this, and everybody just looks crabby. And the woman who was sitting in front of me during the meditation, I thought, ooh, she's scary, you know. Should I, of course, creating all my imaginations, creating all these scenarios about how mean she must be, you know. So the word Vipassana means to see things as they really are. Now, what's interesting is our theme is the imagination, and Vipassana is about as far away and directly opposite from Vipassana as you can get, because you do not use your imagination in a Vipassana meditation. There is no bright light. There are no angels that you're imagining, no colors. You are seeing things as they really are. You are observing things as they really are. And not only are you observing things in meditation in your body, but you're not allowed to change it. So if you're sitting in meditation and your foot falls asleep, too bad. Stay there. You're in meditation and your back hurts, too bad. Stay there and don't move. And the idea behind it is that when we observe the different experiences that our body is having and we don't try to change it, what we'll notice is that it's temporary and that it'll change on its own. And that teaches us that all of life is temporary, that all of life is fleeting, and nothing remains the same. There's also a process that's called a sanskara that is released every time you don't move. It is a technique that was practiced by the Buddha, and the Buddha, the first Buddha, and the Buddha received enlightenment through this practice. Now, the form of this practice of meditation was kept in its pure form in Burma. And the teacher, Gonke, G-O-E-N-K-E, Gonke. Anyway. Hey, I just started talking again. Give me a break. This form was perfected by him, and he decided that it needs to be taught in 10 days, that you need a full 10 days so that you can allow your mind to just totally let go and relax. Now, the whole class was taught through audio and through video because he died a couple of years ago, and so the instruction all comes over a PA. There are teachers there, but they're there to offer advice and to speak with you one-on-one. So the rules are, when we stepped into this experience, a few of the rules were, number one, I will not kill. Okay, well, that's easy enough. Except when I was having dinner and an ant was making his way over to my plate, and I was like, okay, it's your lucky day, buddy. I'll just move you aside. To abstain from stealing, I will not steal. Well, there's not a whole lot to steal there because, what are you going to do, steal somebody's meditation cushion? I don't think so. I will abstain from telling lies. Well, that's easy too because you're not talking, right? And I don't know how you would mime a lie, but you're not participating in that either. So the first day, when the day starts about 4:30 and you're there till 9:30, and really you're sitting in silence and meditation for like 8 or 9 hours a day. It's a long day. And the teacher would speak over the PA, and the first day I'm sitting there in total silence, and then I hear this voice come over the PA that sounded a lot like Bela Lugosi. And he said, "Start again. Start again." And I was like, man, am I in vampire camp or Vipassana camp? And then he said, be aware. Be very aware. And so basically it kind of went like this. The first day, try it with me. So the first day, close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes for a minute. And breathe through your nostrils. Just feel the air coming through your nostrils. Okay, now do that for 8 or 9 hours. That's day one. Okay, day two, close your eyes, breathe through your nostrils. Now be aware of your nostrils and your whole nose. And do that for 7 or 8 hours. Third day, breathe through your nose, be aware of your nostril, your nose, and the upper lip. And do that for 8 or 9 hours. And then I knew why the first rule was, I will not kill. It sounds easy, doesn't it, to just sort of sit? Watch the breath. Yeah, especially for that long. So what I would find is I would be sitting and I would be, watching the breath, paying attention to my nose and just, really there. And about 4 breaths, I'd make it about 4 breaths, and then the next thing I know, I'm off somewhere. And I'm like, oh, what was the name of that movie that took place in Iran? You know, the one where the woman lost her baby and she spent the movie trying to find it. And I spent the whole time like going through the plot, going through the entire movie. And then I went, whoops, I'm supposed to be watching my breath. Okay, back to the breath. Maybe I got 1, and I was gone for like 10 minutes. I come back, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 breaths, and then, oh, I'm off again someplace else. And having talks with people, or maybe I'm back in kindergarten and I'm remembering the little milk jugs that we drank out of. And then, oh, back to the breath. And what I noticed was that maybe in a course of an hour, maybe I took 8 conscious breaths. Maybe 10, maybe 15, but certainly not more than that. And what I noticed was the imagination, the mind went wild, and that it would grab onto one topic, and as soon as it was done with another topic, it would grab onto another, and another, and another, and it became like a wild monkey going through the forest, right? The wild monkey, what does it do? It grabs onto a branch, it swings, it grabs onto another, it swings. And what meditation does, whether it's Vipassana or any other form that you use, is it stops the monkey, even if it's only for a minute. It makes the monkey stop before it grabs onto another branch and takes off again. And that's what the imagination does. It can run wild. So meditation is a way to observe your mind and your imagination. It is a way to tame it so that you can direct it rather than it directing you. Without a pause, your imagination will run you. So for real, I actually would like you to try this for a few minutes, to just see how many breaths you can keep track of within the course of a couple of minutes. So I'd like you to sit up with your back straight, but not stiff. And just be aware of your breath moving through your nostrils. And then just let it go and come back. All right, truth be told, how many people actually watch their breath for, what was it, a minute? And didn't, okay, whose mind did not wander? Whose mind did wander? So, and that's why we start again, right? We start again. Because as soon as we find that the mind has wandered, we start again. And we take it back to the breath. And then the imagination or the mind runs wild, and we bring it back again and again and again, as many times as we need to do. Now, the meditation got more complicated as the days went on. And I found by the 5th day that my body was just vibrating like crazy, and I was up all night on the 5th night. But the idea, again, is to observe pain or pleasure and not react to it. The teacher found Vipassana because he was from Burma and was a very wealthy businessman. However, he suffered from migraine headaches that were just horrible. And he said he traveled around the world trying to find a cure for his migraine headaches. And the only thing anybody could prescribe for him was morphine. So he took a lot of morphine, and of course the morphine led to a whole other problem. And when he decided to try Vipassana, first he had to say, I'm not just here for the migraines, I'm here for spiritual enlightenment. The migraines, after a while, were totally gone and healed. Because again, he recognized that it was only temporary. On the 10th day, we were able to talk again. because they wanted us to be able to talk before they sent us out into the world after not having spoken for 10 days. And as I was leaving the hall, the woman who was sitting in front of me that I thought was scary came up to me and she said, "Oh, it was so wonderful to see you in there every day and to sit on your thing, and you were so wonderful, and it was so great to see you." And she was the nicest person in the world. The nicest person in the world. Everybody was just amazing and sweet, and that ability to connect and to talk and be with each other once again. So I think as we move forward that there is a balance. There is a balance between seeing things as they are and the use of the imagination, right? Imagination is a great faculty that we have, and we can use it to travel in time, to create a new life, or to waste time and imagine horrible scenarios. But just as the disciples were under the guidance of Jesus, so too should our 12 powers be under the jurisdiction of the inner Christ. And I think what that means is having the ability to turn it off and to stop it, and to not be the monkey who grabs one branch after another branch after another branch after another branch, but to stop, to see things as they are, and then to use the imagination again. Because it's through the positive use of imagination that we can choose our lives, we can change our lives and choose our lives, and we can create a new and better world. So as we move forward this month, we're going to have more fun with the imagination. Next week, it's going to be combining imagination with the power of love. Thank you.